In Rwanda's EDPRS2, the target is to grow tourism revenues by 25% annually. In order to achieve this, the Rwanda Development Board has set to diversify tourism experiences, develop as it expands the needed infrastructure. Musanze district in northern Rwanda is at the heart of this transformation.
10 years ago, the park was receiving only between 5 and 7,000 visitors. Today we are close to 30,000 visitors, and so naturally those visitors, compared to 10 years ago, you can calculate in terms of beds that are needed for every day to host, for all the visitors, but also other services that visitors need. You can really understand how it has been expanding. Yeah.
The government has increasingly been investing in tourism sector to boost revenues towards the country's economic development. Many more tourism attractions have been identified to add on existing ones, formerly dominated by national parks, flora and fauna, some of whose inhabitants are among rare species in the world.
With this lava flow, that's when it formed these lava tube caves. So these are called volcanic caves. So that's how it has been formed. And there, it has been used by local people for different activities, like hiding, like using through the battles for the fight. But recently that's when the park decided to make this a tourism activity, one of the activities we have. So we can say that so far it's not yet a popular activity. As when you say gorillas, everyone understands what you're talking about. But when people come, they see signs. That's one of the signs of marketing. They say, wow, you have caves. Then they get interested. When you take people to the activity we have in the park, you tell them about the caves, then they get interested.
Rwanda national visits increased by 10% from 16,646 in 2013 to 18,223 in 2014. Domestic visitation in parks then generated almost $400,000. According to park rangers and local tourists, targeted marketing strategies will also ensure Rwanda's growth in tourism is sustained, not only for foreign but for local tourists as well.
In Rwanda culture, some of them, they don't like to have a trip in forest, in parks. It's, yeah, some of them, now we are in a good process to sensitize, to tell them the good of visiting parks so that they can know even the importance of this park.
It was my first trip, like the touristic trip for my first time, and my impression was we Africans and Rwandans, we have to really get into this, because we don't have to wait for Europeans and Americans to be telling us about Rwanda, about Africa. We have to visit and be telling them about ourselves.
What we wanted to do was bring the community and the tourism together. And because tourism is the biggest industry in the country, well, like, how does the community benefit from it? And then also another fact was the people used to come to Rwanda and stay for a short period. So like, what else can entertain the guests to stay longer in the country, meaning the country will get money, so will the community. And so we met the community and they gave us activities. So we wanted to actually teach the people that came through, the tourists and other experts and whoever wanted to learn about the Rwandan culture. And there's nobody that can teach you the culture like the community. So that's why actually we brought in the community. And they got activities. So they have different activities like banana beer making, which you just did, basket weaving, which is right behind me, farming, homestays where guests come to stay in the homes of the locals. So they don't actually stay here that time. So they pay the locals. So the locals actually benefit from it, because every activity that they do, they're the ones that get the money. We do not get the money.
After about 4 hours of hiking and 1 more hour debating whether or not we could finish this trail up to the top of the mountain, we finally came to the realization that we are not as fit as we thought we were. Now it has started raining and we begin our descent back to ground level, but it is beyond doubt that Mount Bisoke is one of the most strenuous yet adventurous experiences here in Musanze in northern Rwanda.
I was not really happy as well because my group, all my members didn't reach the top. So what I can witness now, it's any step everyone did or made. So I'm happy for that because anyway, they tried. So I was really wishing for everyone to reach the top, but because of the place, the physical condition of everyone, some of them, they didn't, but any step they did, that was good to me.
It was hard for me. It's very nice, but sometimes you have to walk too much. Too much steep. And when we went there, all was cloudy, so we couldn't see the crater. And in a few minutes, all the clouds went down, and we could see it was magic. For me, it's magic. If I have to talk about how I go down, I prefer not to talk because you can see how it's my bottom. I've been down and down and down, but very, very nice experience. I can say that maybe magic. It's very, very nice.
Various destinations in Rwanda have expressed similar concerns about the lack of enough local residents visiting their infrastructure and sharing the tourism experience. This has been highly attributed to the high fees to engage in such activities, as well as the lack of visibility.
We have people mostly from the States, Canada, Europe, Australia, and a few from China, Thailand, or India. Most of the marketing, we do it online. So I think the locals don't use that internet unless they're working. Most of the time they don't go to search for what they really want because the guests that come here find us online or somebody tells them about us who has been here. Hopefully we'll get locals. We've had a few locals actually, but not that many. We would hope for more.
Africa for European people is not cheap because all the national parks they cost a lot of money. You have to get a car in the town to pay a car in the town, then you have to pay here the taxes for the natural park. But I think when you go to a country, you have to leave money there. I was not very sure about how Rwanda was, and I'm absolutely surprised about this. People are absolutely friendly, the communications are very good. It's a very clean country. It's fantastic. I will tell to everything. I will invite to all the world to come here.
For Western people, it's a culture that they really, really teach to their kids from their childhood. So for us also, we have to learn this from our childhood because it's not something that can come in your mind when you're old. It's not really easy. For local people, it's like free because the expenses for local people compared to European or American foreigners in general. So I think it doesn't really cost anything according to the information that I have got from those tour guides.
Under the regime that came into effect on January 1st, 2014, tourists visiting Rwanda, Uganda and Kenya pay for only one as opposed to 3 separate tourist visas. It is a multiple entry document that is valid for 90 days, during which period a tourist can traverse the 3 countries at no additional cost. East Africa is uniquely placed, and cross-border tourism in turn creates room for more investment.
Promoting businesses, promoting tourism, and cleansing the community benefits, I think we needed to promote tourism outside the park. Because the park in itself is limited by the number of the people who can visit the mountain gorillas every day. Because for some activities we have been promoting for 5 years, but we don't see people responding by numbers like to being very, very attracted.
Tourism in Rwanda, I think, is developing, is coming up. And there are good sites around here, despite Virunga Road being here, but there are many sites around here whereby more investors can come and invest here. some other lodges, some other hotels, and like there is a lake here. When there is no activity in the lake, someone can maybe put the lake activity in the lake, and which can also assist, bring more tourists to come and do some business in the lake.
Giving back to communities is another key element of Rwanda's tourism and conservation strategy. From 2005 to today, 1.962 billion Rwandan francs has been disbursed to fund 360 community projects across the country.
Basically, to put here this lodge, it was just to assist the local people around the lodge, which is ecotourism. And we try to conserve and protect the environment around us. As you can see, all our setup, it is set up in a local perspective. All materials we use to build the lodge here, they are being bought by around from the locals.
Beyond infrastructure, supporting the communities in the association, so that they can get direct income. So the program has been consistently really improving and helping, the park to really improve the relationship, as I said, with the communities. So we have been recording fewer poachers, for example. We have been recording more people who are friendlier to gorilla conservation. Especially we have a program with schools, but also the local association, community association, I mean. Not only the park having more visitors, but also more visitors meaning more revenues going to support the communities.
That's all from this week's episode, seeking to make business sense of the tourism industry. Now, to give us feedback or insights regarding the episode, email us at dbir@abn360.com or tweet us at DBI Rwanda. On behalf of the entire Doing Business in Rwanda team, my name is George Ndirango. Keep it CNBC Africa, first in business worldwide.